What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, we're coming back to Dreamcatcher. Yes, indeed, Dreamcatcher Fans FEELIN YOU. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Charles B, and this is actually one of Charles B's 3 prioritized requests for the month of April for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So, here you go, Charles. Hope you enjoy the show, man. Charles wanted to see me react to this song by Dreamcatcher called, I think it's pronounced, Piri. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, yeah, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. As always, Charles has given me a little bit of an intro to read to all of you, so here we go. Last time with Dreamcatcher, we revisited Mayday, a non-single from their 2018 EP Escape the Era, which when you first reviewed it ended up being your favorite from them. You'll now check out Piri, the single from their 2019 EP, The End of Nightmare. Except for Wind Blows, all the tracks you've reviewed from them so far are from their first and important era of Dreamcatcher, which lasted from 2017 to 2019. These tracks are What, You and I, Mayday, and Full Moon. During this time, Dreamcatcher was also doing Japanese releases, including Japanese music video versions, which are also on YouTube. The version of Piri you'll be reacting to is the Korean one, but there is a Japanese version with some different shots. An important thing to point out here is the sales. Dreamcatcher, where am I here? There it goes. Dreamcatcher did overall reasonably well in Japan. With Piri, the Japanese version sold nicely, peaking at number 13 on the Oricon charts. However, in their native South Korea, Piri sold so little it didn't even chart. Ouch. Most of the views you'll see for this Korean music video and whatever success of their Korean version, which is also the case for all the Dreamcatcher songs you've reacted to from this first era, come from outside of South Korea. I've said this before in many of my intros here to South Korean rock songs, and I will say it again. Mainstream South Koreans do not like rock music. Yeah, okay. That's true. It is because of this that, not long after, there was a change in the direction of their sound. Their main singles moved away from the genuine K-pop hard rock metal hybrid of this era and into an EDM era that imitates the energy of hard rock and metal, but with none of the actual hard rock and metal instrumentation. In other words, it's like all, it's all synthetic, in other words. You sampled this later era in your review of their 2021 track Wind Blows, where you compared the original EDM studio version with the live version that was a genuine hard rock and K-pop mix. And I do remember that one. I remember I liked the second one way better. The hard rock and K-pop mix, way better than the EDM. The grand majority of K-pop fans who are Dreamcatcher fans don't understand rock, so they don't know the difference and almost never request this era to hard rock and metal reaction channels that you have been listening to so far. This ignorance of these K-pop fans has denied these rock reaction channels to hear Dreamcatcher's true K-pop hard rock / metal hybrid sound from this first era that was untainted by mainstream South Korean dislike of rock. One last thing to explain, which is the song title itself, Piri. A Piri is a musical instrument that dates all the way back to Korean ancient times. It has a lot of similarities to a flute, but unlike a flute where air is blown across an edge that creates vibration and makes sound, with a Piri, the sound is made by blowing air through a double reed. Okay, so it's like an oboe, a double reed instrument that makes the vibration, or a bassoon, oboe bassoons. They both use double reed instruments. In their dance choreography shown in this music video, the Dreamcatchers lady make hand motions imitating the playing of a Piri. Okay, that's interesting. All right, let's see. This was posted by Dreamcatcher Company. No surprise there. And the video has 25 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Dreamcatcher Piri MV music video. Doesn't say official. We should be all right. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
This mouth sometimes, man, I swear.
두 눈을 감은 순간 검은 공간 나 홀로 남겨져 다시 눈을 떠도 꿈을 깨도 내 현실은 다르지 않아 거친 불처럼 쉽게 말처럼 안 돼 말처럼
그래, 뭐 시간대이 다 해결해주겠지.
끝도 없이 반복되는 지금 길을 잃어 헤매고 있지만 너에게 닿을 수 있다면 피리를 불어라. I know what you want from me. 피리를 불어라. 끝없이 날 down for me. 시간이 없어 now it's not too late. 너밖에 없어 save me now 이미 난 emergency. 아무 소리 없는 꿈 온통 나를 보는 눈.
I think we just heard the chorus. I think that's what we just heard. During the chorus, very full sounding. The rock elements are definitely there. The guitar, the bass, the drums, very prominent. The driving force. It's funny though, because coming out of the chorus, let me back up a little bit here. Okay, and right here, coming out of the chorus, going back into the verse, we will go into the main riff here, right? The whistle overtone, being the main melodic line carrying the song along, but the fullness just completely got sucked out of the room. Like, check this out. You tell me. What do you guys think? I mean, did the transition really thin out? Like the bottom end completely disappeared. And if I'm not mistaken, the mids did too. All it is upper tonal instruments, the upper register instruments, and percussion. Kind of, if you ask me, it's kind of anticlimactic. Guitar's gone, bass is gone.
아무 소리 없는 꿈 온통 나를 보는
And it comes back in the verse. And then it comes back in the verse. Well, the guitar does. Bass still isn't there. And drum kit fully is not there. You got some. I don't think it's real clapping. I think it's a keyboard hit. I think there's a keyboard that you know, they're hitting a key to get the clapping sample from. Or it could be a sample pad. That's also very possible. The hard rock is there. I mean, there is absolutely no denying that. As Charles said, they definitely shifted gears in 2021 to more of an EDM. You're actually starting to kind of see that in this. During the course of the verse, you heard a lot of those like 808 drops and so forth, and other things, that other elements of EDM. You heard a lot of drops and a lot of samples in there. Now, luckily, when the chorus kicked in, boy, it got full sounding. I dig the chorus, absolutely. To some extent, I do dig the verse. It has that ja-junt, you know, has that 2/8 note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and yeah, I think we're here. No, actually, no, it'd be 16th notes because we're 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it'd be 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. I like that. Good accent usage. Good subdivision work, selecting that pattern. I'm not 100% sure if I'm sold on this. Part of me is, part of me isn't. It's that transition coming out of the chorus, going back into the verse, the way it thinned out as much as it did. And I know it seems like I'm making a big deal out of this, and I kind of am, but it's really bugging me. It's really setting me off. I'm not thrilled with it. Very anticlimactic. You would think coming out of this big, thick sounding, heavy sounding chorus, you would think they could transition and utilize that energy to lead into the verse, which by default is going to bring things down anyway. Instead, they decided to go from here to here to here. Instead of going here, maybe step it down a little bit and then go down to here where the verse is. That would make more sense, to have that slight slope, that gradual slope. But instead, they went here to here underneath and then brought it back up again for the verse. Very anticlimactic. I'm just not feeling that transition, man. I'm just not. Yeah, it's very empty.
아무 소리 없는 꿈 온통 나를 보는 눈 yeah. I don't wanna dawn 너를 찾고 있는 중 yeah. 놓치고 싶지 않아 내게 손 날 뻗어봐 그렇게 쉽지 않아 I better go for a while
We're hearing those EDM drops already.
뭐 시간이 다 해결해주겠지
끊임없이 반복되는 지금 아직도 난 헤매고 있지만 네가 꼭 그럴 수 있도록 피리를 불어라 I know what you want to me 피리를 불어라 끝없이 날 down 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 for me
I'm digging the chorus. I love the chorus.
너밖에 없어 baby now in me emergency 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 emergency
See, now this makes sense. Now that time coming out of the chorus, it was much thicker sounding. It was much fuller sounding. There was, like I talked about, what it could have been. Well, this time it was. From up here where the chorus is, we came down slightly down. It thinned out a tiny bit to transition smoother into this breakdown section. That makes way more sense than what they did coming out of the first chorus. Much more pleasing to the ear, much more subtle, not nearly as jarring or anticlimactic or disappointing. That time it made sense. And all they did was just change their approach slightly. That's all they did. And what a huge difference. See, this time, drums are still going. Full drums are still going. Guitar got taken out, bass got taken out, granted, but at least they got the drums still going. Full, driving, pulsing, filling out the sound, making that transition to when they do go down to that breakdown section far more, number one, far more effective. From a songwriting standpoint, way more effective, makes way more sense. Number two, from an audio standpoint, it's far more pleasing to the ear, especially when since we're going into a breakdown section, to have it drop down into a breakdown section. Way more sense this way. Breakdown section, yes. Bring it down. Perfect sense. Yeah. Oh, ending was great. Ending was great. How we ended out, just everything cut off except for that that one instrument. I think that's a Piri. Doesn't sound like a double reed instrument though. That just sounds like someone whistling. Double reed instruments usually have a very distinct tone. Like when you're listening to an orchestra and it has an oboe solo, or like the oboe takes over and takes the lead melodic line, you can tell it's an oboe. You can absolutely tell it's an oboe because that double reed distinct sound. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe what we heard there, maybe that was just someone whistling. It's also very possible, or a whistle tone on a keyboard or something. Little bit of a roller coaster with this song. There were parts I liked, there were parts I loved, there were parts I was not thrilled about. So, this is gonna be interesting. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Dreamcatcher with Piri. This was a request from Charles B. And this was actually one of Charles B.'s 3 prioritized requests for the month of April for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So, there you go, Charles. Hope you enjoyed the show. I got a score. It makes perfect sense to me. I know a lot of people may not be thrilled with the score that this is going to get, but I promise you, I have my reasons. And if you listen to my reasons, you listen to my explanation, I promise you the score I'm going to give here is going to make sense. You may not necessarily agree with it, but at least you'll be able to see where I'm coming from, and you'll understand where I'm coming from when I give the score. So, having said that, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that a 7.6. Yep, 7.6. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, a 7.6. What does that mean? Well, a 7.6 would translate to a really good scale rating. So overall, I think this was a really good song. It would also equate out to 4 to 5 stars and a B+ letter grade. So there you go, a 7.6, really good scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B+ letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. You can definitely see this is kind of a bridge between where they were with 2018 to where they are, you know, like Charles was saying in 2021, where they became far more focused on the EDM and the digital and all that all the drops and stuff, you could see this period as like a bridge. There is still the rock elements in there. You got the guitar, you got the bass, you got the drums. They are there, and they definitely make their presence known. And they are definitely the driving force in the chorus in particular. Now, having said that, though, you can't help but notice the EDM starting to creep in and starting to make its presence way more felt. Not completely taking over, but hinting at we're going to take over. You know, you can see that sense in there. The strongest thing going for this song, if I'm being honest, the strongest thing going for this song is not so much the songwriting, it's the arrangement. It's the selection of voices, where they're going to be used, how they're going to be used, and for how long they're going to be used. And here's the funny thing. Not only is that the strongest aspect to this song, it's also the weakest aspect to this song. You're getting both the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows from the exact same thing. It's funny, and this is not the first time that a song has done this either. I've heard this happen with a lot of songs that I've heard, not just on the channel, but throughout my entire life. This has been a point of contention with me. The usage of the voicings was, for the most part, really intelligent, very smartly done. In the verses, a little bit thinner, putting far more emphasis on the vocalizations, on the vocals, okay? Makes perfect sense, especially since the vocals are done in a little more reserved style comparatively to what's happening in the chorus. Makes perfect sense. Because you want the chorus to be bigger. You want the chorus to be more bombastic. You want the chorus to be the thing that sticks out above everything else and is the most memorable part of the song, thus making it the hook. I completely agree with that. And the way that they built it up within the verse was very, very smart. In the verse is also where we really heard most of the EDM introduction, where you really saw the EDM kind of starting to step up and, you know, show that it's starting to make its presence felt more prominently within their song. I get that. But then when they do go into the chorus, guitar kicks in, bass kicks in, drums kick in, and we get that hard rock sound. Yeah, the EDM is still there, but now it's not taking the lead anymore. The rock elements take the lead. And yes, absolutely. I'm not going to lie, folks. The chorus is my favorite part of the song. Absolutely. Now, here's where the downfall comes, though. Here's where the downfall comes. Coming out of the chorus, going into the verse, the transition back to the main riff, it completely bottomed out. I mean, it thinned out. Bass, gone. Guitar, gone. Drums, gone. Most of the EDM elements, gone. There was just an electronic drum pattern going on. Very thinned out. And coming out of a huge bombastic chorus, the transition into a verse. Now, you would think it would make far more sense to have it go down slightly and gradually go into maybe like an actual curvature. So, you know, here's your, okay, so you're up here, right? You're up here for the verse, right? Now, to go into you're up here for the chorus. Here's the verse, right? Here's the intensity level for the chorus. Here's the intensity level for the verse. Wouldn't it make way more sense to either go with a linear straight line or maybe go with a curvature into this? That would make sense, right? Instead, what they did was they went from here down to here. And then when they went into the verse, they brought it back up to here again. Very jarring, very disorienting, very disjointed. Not a smooth transition at all. That was not pleasing to the ear whatsoever. I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to, you know, make that whistle, the whistle voice. They were trying to make that the primary voice. They were trying to make that the spotlight for that one section. You can do that. You can absolutely do it without taking all of the meat and potatoes out and leaving you with an empty pot. You know, I really felt let down by that transition. Now, the good news is when we went back into the verse again, verse sounded good. Verse going into the next chorus sounded good. And when they went from the chorus into the breakdown section, where it came way down dynamically, they did a gradual transition down into it. It didn't bottom out and then come back up again. No, it was far smoother, far more joined, far more interlaced, far more pleasing to the ear to hear a fuller sound. And listen, I know bass dropped out, I know guitar dropped out, but it still had the drum driving us into that breakdown section. Now, it went, here's the chorus, it dropped down, and then we went to the breakdown section, it bottomed. Now, that's supposed to happen. It's a breakdown section. That is supposed to happen by design. The breakdown section should be abrupt. Yes, because it is a breakdown. And then when they went back into the chorus again, what happened? They brought it right back up again. It's intentionally jarring in a very pleasing to the ear way. It makes far more sense. And then the ending, I had no issue with the ending whatsoever. I know people are going to be like, well, the ending bottomed out. It's the ending. It's supposed to bottom out. You know, it's not the middle of the song. It's not after the first climax of the song. No, it's the end of the song. Everybody drops out except that main whistle voice. That was the leading tone throughout the entire song when it came to instrumentation. That makes perfect sense. I got no issue with that whatsoever. Like I said, the strongest thing about this song going for it was the arranging, not so much the songwriting. Songwriting, if we're being honest here, the chordal progression, pretty simple, very easy to follow. Not impressive at all, but it sounded good. It went smooth from chord to chord. It made perfect sense. Everything they did sounded nice. It was pleasing the ear. I got no issue with it. I'm just not going to sit here and say it was amazing because it wasn't. The most amazing thing about the song, like I said, was the arranging, not the songwriting. And I know everybody's like, well, this is me. You're talking about instrumentation this whole time. What about the vocal? What about the vocals? They sounded good. I mean, I'm not going to dispute that. You heard it. I heard it. I think we can all agree. Vocals sounded just fine. Nothing mind-blowing, but the harmonies sounded good. They sounded full, and they were the lead voice. So, yeah, I got no issue with the vocals whatsoever. I was just far more fascinated with what was happening instrumentally within this track. So, now taking everything into account here, that's how I'm coming up with that 7.6. I feel good about that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We got a 7.6, which is a really good scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B+ letter grade. Take your pick. I don't care. Whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later, peace.